Get in, nerd. We're going on a warehouse raid.
Overtime!
Well, I'm on my way now. I figured maybe we would talk a little bit about where this whole crazy idea came from. So I guess it really started about 6 years ago. This random YouTube channel that does, videos with explorations of abandoned buildings. They posted this video like 6 years ago. Guy goes inside this abandoned building in the middle of West Virginia, and it's full of arcade machines. So old arcade cabinets from the early 80s, kind of all over the place. Lots of interesting stuff. Some pretty uncommon, highly sought after games. Some really weird, rare ones. Just really fascinating. And I think a lot of us saw that video and thought it was really cool. Got shared around a little bit. And then, flash forward to maybe 5 months ago, Liam, aka 64-bit, aka one half of the Retrobotics channel on YouTube with his wife Sam. He was talking about this video with Dillweed, aka Taylor, both of whom are Overtime Arcade channel members, by the way. So they were talking about this video and how cool it might be to find that place and see if we could get those games. And Liam, being the super genius that he is, kind of went through this video with a fine-tooth comb, because there's some pictures, there's some views of the outside, there's train tracks and whatever, and, almost playing like a game of GeoGuessr, if you've ever played that game, where you get dropped in the middle of a map in Google Maps, you got to figure out where you are just based on, visual cues. Liam was able to pinpoint exactly the building, like to the street address of this abandoned building filled with arcade machines. And so, that started this 5-month-long process. He reached out to the local government. He looked up the property records to try to figure out who the owner was. Turns out the town took over possession of this building like 10 years ago for, failure to pay back taxes or whatever. So the town has owned this building for 10 years. It's sat, vacant, abandoned, and who knows how long, the games have been there. I think the most of the games are like 83 or older, although it looked like there was a conversion kit from 1987. So yeah, Liam's been talking to the local government. At first, they were just going to let us come and clean the games out. But then the mayor decided it had to be put to a vote by the town council, and they decided they actually wanted to auction it off. And so anyway, tons of back and forth, tons of whatever, tiny little town in the middle of West Virginia. But finally, after this 5-month-long process, based on a 6-year-old video, we're going to go clean this place out. So I'm on my way there. I've got a 12-foot trailer in the back. You might not be able to see it in this video. Liam's on his way. Taylor's on his way. We've all got trailers. And we're going to go grab a bunch of games. So pretty exciting stuff. We have an idea of what's in this place, at least what we're able to see in the video. We kind of divvied it up, sort of who's going to grab what based on our, preferences. We kind of did a bit of a draft, based on our ranked choices. And, one of the things that's interesting for me is, there were some games that, obviously more than one of us, would want. And I was willing to compromise and let the guys, get some stuff that they wanted. But I've got first dibs on anything that we don't currently know about, right? So any game that wasn't in the video, I have first dibs at claiming, and parts and whatever. And we have reason to believe there is a basement at this property, and who knows what's down there, right? It wasn't part of the It wasn't part of the abandoned building exploration video, though we saw, stairs. So very, very excited. And yeah, this should be a ton of fun. With that initial video being 6 years old now, a lot could have happened between then and now. Who knows if local kids broken in and vandalized it, smashed up the games or whatever. The games look to be in relatively good condition. Covered with dust, and some of them are kind of like, it looked like they were like being worked on and just kind of left strewn about. There's a couple that look like they got tipped over. But when this whole process of Liam, negotiating with the town for us to come get them, we did get some pictures and, confirmed that, quite a few of them are still there. They didn't take a comprehensive tour of the place, but we're pretty confident that, quite a few of the games are still there. Looks like they might have been moved around a little bit, which is a little bit suspicious. So yeah, who knows exactly what we're going to find, but yeah, so on our way. Got a little bit less than 3 hours to go, so this should be a lot of fun. Keep your fingers crossed that we find something really good, and yeah, let's go. Well, we're here. Say hi, Taylor.
What's going on?
AKA Dillweed, channel member. He's got his own channel. This is the place.
I think it's seen better days.
It's definitely seen better days. We got Liam and Sam already inside, starting to pull things out. And things have definitely changed in the past 6 years. So here is the Battle Zone Cabaret. Missing a top, but hey, it's got the joysticks. It's got a monitor.
And the monitor's intact.
And it's intact, not necked. See that right here? So that's pretty crazy.
They repro these bezels?
I don't know. It's not I don't think it's an artwork bezel. I think it's just tinted plexi.
And you know what? The back door on this is actually still here, so I don't think anyone's touched the harness.
Fingers crossed.
No, it's still in there. I see it.
Oh, wow. So yeah, some bad news scrappers have been through. So here is a Thief converted to Baseball the Season 2, which I think is the oldest game. This is a 1987 conversion kit. Abby was here apparently at some point. So scrappers have been here and unfortunately have taken lots of copper. So a lot of the harnesses are missing, gone. What board set is this right here?
That's Thief.
That's Thief. Okay, that's a Thief board set. Interesting. All right, and let's go inside. Liam and Sam from Retrobotics are hard at work in here. We'll see if we can get some light going. All right, take a look around. There was a bar counter here at some point. We're pulling parts. Here's a joystick from Food Fight, filter board. Yeah, so right here is a Ms. Pack Cabaret, Ms. Pack Mini. Again, seen better days. A lot of these look like they've been stripped. What's over here? Kind of wild. We got Jungle King here.
I think there's a board set. There is. Okay, good.
There's a board set on the back door. Here's a Thief that's been knocked over.
Out.
That Thief has a door on the back, which is a good sign.
You know what? I don't think this has ever moved. Of course, this
yeah, we got
the filter board for Jungle King. That's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, kind of wild in here. So over there, we got a bunch of games all lined up. I think the scrappers were doing that to make it easy for themselves. This big thing right here, some kind of old poker game, black and white poker game with a color overlay.
They took the pool tables.
They took the pool table. Oh, hey, that's good.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. A lot of junk over here. Perhaps the biggest surprise, this is a Sega Gremlin Space Firebird Cabaret. Pretty crazy. Okay.
We were talking about that earlier.
There's a bowler right there. We'll come around to see these games from the front. Yeah, this place is an absolute mess. So here's another Thief. This is the third Thief cabinet. This one's all been stripped. A NATO Defense. Another Jungle King.
Hey, this is a big find.
Ooh, what's this?
I've never seen an asteroids bezel like this.
Oh. That's Spanish.
Is that what that asteroids is? Is that why it was blue? Go look at the asteroids.
All right, we're jumping ahead here.
I'm sorry.
Taylor's got a theory.
I'm sorry, but look at it.
All right, we have so a lot of going on back here. So this was the original entrance that the video started with. The guy came in this way.
There'd be Space Sap and
yeah,
Gyrus.
Space Sap is missing. Gyrus is missing. This is a upside down, like the cabinet is literally turned upside down. Asteroids, but it's blue. So is that like an Irish asteroids?
I think it said like puntos on the bezel. I'm not.
There's a necked monitor in there, but the rest of there's a AR1 coin box, no boards, no harness. All that's all been cut. But yeah, this thing, I'm stepping on glass. I should put my boots on. This thing is upside down. Look at that.
I think it's a Sonic Asteroids.
A Sonic Asteroids. This has a like a Williams style coin door.
It might be.
Super crazy.
Whew, someone had a dream getting that thing upside down.
We got an upright battle zone here with the board set.
Yeah.
With the board set, AR2.
Still figured out how to neck it, but it's in there.
Necked it. Here's a kangaroo.
Back door's still on it.
Back door's on it. That's
this
a good
thing has
sign.
probably not been touched.
Good sign.
Only get your feet off the porch.
What's
yes,
that?
Sir.
I said, help me get your feet
Okay.
off the porch.
All right.
All right. Liam said they've been in the basement and there's nothing there,
Switcher
unfortunately.
acquired.
Here is a Space Invaders Deluxe. Again, tube is necked.
That's a Spanish
sadly.
Asteroids. We found the bezel.
We got a power supply, PCB,
It's a
and that's
Spanish
it.
Asteroids.
Nothing
Look at this
else
bezel.
inside. This is a lock and chase.
Tanieto
Look at that
Troubadour.
coin door. They just pried it open.
That is the same.
Savages.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
All right, good job.
Okay, and then back to the games that we were looking at. Here is the second Jungle King.
Get this over here.
Here's a food fight,
sir.
which is really
I'm
cool.
going to be saying that a lot.
A Star Force in a, what did you say this was? An Enigma
fully
2,
understand.
Taylor? And the Puck Bowler. Oh, and here's Sam, dressed like a Ghostbuster.
There we go.
There you go. Oh, there you go. And a smaller pool table here. So I'm going to go put some boots on, gloves, a mask, and we're going to try to get as much of this stuff saved and loaded. But yeah, so far lots of missing harnesses, lots of neck tubes, some games that have disappeared, but some interesting ones have appeared. So yeah, stay tuned for us getting things loaded. All right, mission accomplished. Here we have Retrobotics, Sam and Liam.
Hi.
Thank you, Liam, for organizing this whole thing. You got your
Yeah.
trailer full.
Yeah, we got
like 3 games.
Centipede, Food Fight, although it's missing its board and harness, but
Uh-oh.
it did have 2 joysticks, and a Jungle King
Very
and
cool.
a half.
Very cool.
So walking on over.
And we got Taylor, aka Dillweed, with his trailer. He's got a couple of interesting things in the bed of the truck. There's a Space Firebird Cabaret. And what was the other thing that's in the back? The Miss Pack Mini. We got 2 Thief cabinets, a really nice Kangaroo, Battle Zone upright. What's the other one tucked behind there?
Lock and Chase.
Lock and Chase, Tato Lock and Chase. And over here,
Coolest asteroids ever.
yeah, I'm still strapping down, you know me. So that's very interesting asteroids we'll talk a little bit about more. I guess the TLDR is it's a Sonic asteroid, so Spanish asteroids. And then in the trailer, a Thief, a NATO Defense. That is a Enigma 2 converted to Star Force, Space Invaders Deluxe, and a Battle Zone Cabaret. I'd say not bad for a long day's worth of work. We are
5
all
months
sweaty
in the making.
and tired and want to go home. So, all right, let's get on the road. Okay, here we are. I got all the games off the trailer and truck. And before I stick them in the back of the garage, I thought we'd take a look at the games that I picked up. So as you can see, I brought home 6 games from this warehouse raid. Starting from left to right, we have Thief by Pacific Novelty. This next one is actually an Enigma 2 cabinet. very uncommon, converted to Star Force. We have a NATO Defense. Next, we have a really neat little Atari Battlezone Cabaret. Missing the top, but this game is complete and intact other than that cabinet damage and bezel and whatnot. This is a very strange one right here. This looks like Asteroids, but there's a lot of differences. The cabinet's a little bit smaller. It's blue. The control panel is different. This is actually, the coin door is very different. This is actually a Sonic Asteroids made by a pinball machine manufacturer called Sonic. So we'll talk a little bit about more about that later. And then a Space Invaders Deluxe. So yeah, so this was a bit of an adventure. And let's come around and take a look at the back of these games. So you can see the side art on the Space Invaders Deluxe here. So we got some issues. Like I mentioned previously during the pickup, unfortunately scrappers had made it to these games and most of the harnesses have been removed and lots of other bad stuff. So for the most part, think of these as essentially empty cabinets, maybe with some bonus goodies inside. So first we have the Space Invaders Deluxe. Missing the transformer assembly. It does have the power PCB. Harness is mostly removed. The monitor chassis is gone. And we have a necked black and white raster monitor right there. I do have the back door. Dillweed, Taylor, he gave me a Space Invaders Deluxe PCB. So we'll have something to work with, but yeah, that's unfortunate. This Sonic Asteroids right here, cabinet's got some damage. One thing that's weird is this doesn't have T-molding. So unlike the groove, like you can see right here for T-molding on the Battlezone Cabaret, this doesn't have a groove. So this isn't really T-molding. This is like edge banding, I think you would call it. It's just an adhesive thing that holds it on. So that's strange. It's a blue particle board cabinet. It's almost like a glossy sort of side. And this paint, the side art was painted and like silk screened on and is really flaking off. It's almost like artwork that gets screened onto pinball back glasses and some glass bezels, and it's just flaking off. So that's really unfortunate. And I think most of the Sonic Asteroids that I've seen it said Asteroids right here in a separate sticker, so maybe that got pulled off. Maybe that's a remnant of it right there. But yeah, very interesting and bizarre cabinet. It does have a Geo5 801 monitor, and the chassis is intact, but unfortunately this tube has been necked as well. I guess they were looking for the yokes or electron guns or whatever for the scrap metal. It does have the AR1 board right there. And down here, it's got a really weird, transformer assembly that says Sonic on it right there. There you go, confirming that it's Sonic. This is just strange, so we'll have to figure out what to do with this. And I don't know if that's a big blue right there or what, but yeah. And I do have at least a partial back door for this one, so we got something there. We'll take a look at the Battlezone Cabaret in just a second, but really quickly, this is serial number 1154 for the Battlezone Cabaret. We'll open that up in a second. Next, we have the NATO Defense. I do believe I have the back door and board set for this thing. But up here, I believe would have been like, did NATO Defense use an 8-track player like Thief? So I guess that's missing. We have a Geo7 here that's been necked, and the flyback wiring has been stripped. And then everything else is gone, transformer assembly, harness. We've got a partial record right here. What does that say? Get on My Love by Joe Stampley. I don't know who that is. And yeah, just a mess inside here. And then we have the Enigma converted to Star Force. Has partial, or I guess a switching power supply down there with a bunch of random stuff. What's this right here? This looks strange. Not entirely sure what this is. Light or something. Oh, this is from the. Oh wow, this is from inside the neck of the tube. Yeah, see right there. There's the neck that connector that plugs into the socket. And oh yeah, so we have a K4600 right here. That's also been necked, and the flyback has been cut, which is not great because I don't think anyone makes 4600 repro flybacks. We can see right here manufacturing tag that says Enig 2 for Enigma 2, serial number 5070. And I believe Enigma 2 was game plan. And if you look at the sides have been painted black, but this paint is already starting to come off, and you can see the colors. And I think it says like GPI on the side of the cabinet. Yeah, and here's our game plan serial number sticker, model number 410, serial number E5070. Very interesting design and color of this cabinet. And then we've got our thief. Missing the bottom, missing the base, missing the back door. I believe I have both of those. So yeah, no transformer assembly, no harness. This is another necked Geo7, unfortunately, but we'll be able to get these hopefully up and running. I believe I have at least one Geo7 tube that I could swap in. Here are some instructions, dip switch settings. We have our 4 speakers up there and the marquee, but most of the wiring has been stripped out. So yeah, we'll come around. Take a look at the front of the cabinets. We have our thief side art right there. And yeah, coin door has been stripped. The bezel is gone. The control panel is gone. I think I might have the control panel. I got a whole bunch of parts in the truck that I need to unload and get spread out and take inventory of what I got. But yeah, there's our thief right there. And again, this is Tecon Starforce. I believe Tecon eventually became Tecmo. Yeah, so I think that's a relatively sought after PCB, the Starforce PCB, which was in the cabinet that I did remove and put into an electrostatic bag for safekeeping. We have a bezel right here, plexi bezel with one of the carriage bolts removed that would hold it in. Side of the cabinet is smashed up a bit. We'll have to figure out some way to repair that. We have a coin door here that looks almost like a Williams style silver coin door. Let's see, we have some kind of CPO, looks like a Starforce CPO. No labels for the buttons or anything, but yeah, so that's something. What am I gonna do to turn this back to an Enigma 2? I don't know. All right, NATO Defense, Pacific Novelty, another 4 speaker game. I think Thief and NATO Defense like have very similar gameplay, both by Pacific Novelty, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, tank game, maze game. We've got our bezel here. Very, very filthy. I'm gonna have to get some Simple Green to get all this grease off. Do have some instructions. Can't quite read that. Oh, there we go. There are 32 sectors to clear. Whoa. And yeah, and lots of bad grime right here. Okay, most of this CPO is gone, but there's some of the artwork still intact. And of course our battle zone, we'll go into this, open this up a little bit. This does have the joysticks that still have some movement in them. They feel actually okay. Fire button's there. Start button, you know, volcano button is missing. We've definitely got some burn on this monitor, so I don't know if it was stuck on free play or something. Here is our beautiful, beautiful marquee for Battlezone. This coin door is in relatively good shape. The coin reject buttons, one of them was drilled, but doesn't look too bad at all. And we'll open up this cabinet a little bit and see what's going on. We've got the control panel overlay for asteroids right here. All right, look at that. And I do have the bezel in the truck, so we'll take a look at that in a minute. Oh, this tube is next, so I'm not really worried about it. It does have some burn right here. And that's not English right there, whatever that says, some kind of foreign language. And the speaker panel's been smashed up. I do have the other half of it though, and it's missing the marquee, which is very uncommon, the Sega, or not Sega, the Sonic Asteroids marquee. We have the Sonic coin door right here, which looks like a pinball coin door. Not unsurprisingly, because Sonic was a pinball manufacturer overseas, I think based in Europe, right? Spain or something. And we have our Space Invaders Deluxe. All right, so good news is the mirror is intact. Color overlay is intact. The bezel we found in the warehouse, but it was completely smashed to smithereens. And there were even some pieces in the cabinet that we had to remove, and some are probably still in there. So we got some footprints from critters, probably a raccoon or something. One of the cabinets, one of the Jungle Kings, had a skeletonized, what we assume is a raccoon in there. And we have, ooh, look at this. This is a Willis control panel overlay. That's kind of cool. We'll get that all cleaned up. That's very interesting. What does that say up here? Yeah, start, instructions. That's rather interesting. Relatively good shaped coin door. A lot of them got smashed up. This has a spot where you could knock out and insert a button there. But yeah, so all in all, not too bad. So let me grab something to get set up, and we'll crack open the battle zone and see what's going on inside of that. Okay, all the games are now tucked into the back of the garage, except for the battle zone cabaret right here. And I got all of the parts out of my truck and laid out here for us to go over. So yeah, I also spent a couple minutes and cleaned up the battle zone cabaret a little bit. And I gotta say, you know, other than the top missing and the bezel missing and some T-molding and, you know, various things like that, I'm actually really excited to bring this back to life. Coin door is there. The hinge is a little bent up, but we can fix that. The marquee is there, and this is, in fact, an illuminated marquee. There is a marquee light right there, the fluorescent light assembly. So that'll look really cool. That looks really awesome. We have our control panel right here. There's a little bit of flaking of the paint. Like there's some rust on this metal control panel. And this is like a silk screened, you know, painted paint on this control panel. It's not a control panel overlay. So we'll figure out what I want to do. There's a tiny little bit of rust under the paint here. Maybe there's something I can do to kind of minimize that, because I don't want to redo this. I can probably safely remove this red and repaint the red, but that's for another day. The bellows on the joysticks look pretty good. We can open up the hinge here. We see some of the cardboard artwork bezel sort of removed right there. It's interesting that the control panel connector was cut for some reason, and the other part of it is down there. The harness has not been removed, so I don't know if our scrappers were in a hurry and just, you know, couldn't be bothered to take the rest, but someone cut this, and it's weird because, you know, the Molex connector is right here, so why would you cut it? That doesn't make any sense, but we can repair that. We do have the button mechanism for our Volcano start button right here, and what's interesting is, you know, the cabaret version of Battlezone is only a single player. Is the upright have a two-player mode? I don't know. But yeah, this looks pretty good. I think the plastic maybe a little bit cracked over here, but on the assembly for the joystick, but I think we'll be in pretty good shape. I believe this is a Geo 5 monitor here, the obviously 13-inch, or I think Atari tried to claim that this was a 15-inch monitor. It does have some Battlezone burn, but that's not too bad because obviously Battlezone is the game that we will be using with this monitor. And yeah, very, very fortunate that this monitor is not necked. It could be that they were just, you know, unfamiliar with what they were looking at. I think they were going after the yokes, and this does have this yoke inside this sort of disc thing. So maybe they cracked it open, didn't realize that there is a yoke there, and left it behind. So that neck is intact, and the deflection board, chassis, all that is there, which is great. We do obviously have some cabinet repair work to do. In addition to the top panel here that's missing, the upper panel is separated, and the blocking is starting to come apart down there. So we're going to sort of, you know, really strip this cabinet down to the bare bones and get everything nice and secure, and you know, build it back up again. The you know, wood grain vinyl or contact paper, whatever this is on the sides, looks pretty good for the most part. Inside here, the PCB was here, but I removed it for safekeeping. We've even got our coin bucket, our AR2. Oh, old knees. Very filthy down here at the bottom. but it's all there. The power cord has been cut. And you know, if this power cord wasn't cut, I'd have half a mind to plug this thing in and see if it works, but I'll do it the right way. We'll get everything cleaned up and we'll test it out in portions. Yeah, I was talking to Dillweed on the Overtime Arcade private members-only Discord server. You know, he got that kangaroo that was really nice and again complete. That just needed a little bit of cleanup and a fuse or something, and it fired right up. He was showing us pictures. Excuse me, bumping the camera. Pictures of the kangaroo running. So that's really cool. And I'm thinking that we might be in a similar situation here with this battle zone. Maybe we'll do a future episode where I restore this a little bit. Well, we'll definitely be restoring it, but maybe in the next episode that features the battle zone, we'll actually get it running and test the PCBs or board set. So coming over here, this is the back door from the battle zone. It does have the instruction sheet, which has obviously been munched on a little bit by critters, but hey, at least it's there. In addition to grabbing parts and cabinets, of course, from this warehouse raid, you know, Liam and Taylor and I, we did a little bit of horse trading and a swap meet, and so part of these parts, you know, some of the parts here on the table came from them. We have a thief control panel from the raid. I think this is a Space Invaders marquee light panel, and then a Space Invaders panel, and then a Space Invaders panel, and then a reproduction Space Invaders overlay that somehow I came home with. 3 coin buckets here from some of my games. Another piece of the Battle Zone artwork, cardboard bezel. A couple pieces of colored overlay. I got to figure out what goes where for the Battle Zone. Maybe we can reuse those bits. This, I think I mentioned this Space Invaders PCB set that Dillweed gave to me, Taylor gave to me. I think this is 4. I think he was saying this is 4 originally from a Space Invaders Deluxe, but it got converted to Space Invaders, so we'll take a look at that. We've got some of these coin rolling papers that were in some of the cabinets, and an insert for a jukebox, like a music selection piece. Here is the 2-board stack for the Battle Zone, and I believe it says Battle Zone somewhere on the, oh, right here, on the aux board at least. It says Battle Zone. If it'll get out of the glare, it says Battle Zone right there. 2 words on the board, even though it's 1 word everywhere else. Yeah, here's the vector section. What does that say? There's a Monroe asset tag on it right there. And there were a couple of repair tags I found. This first one is marked 622 and is tied to the board. Says Presley Music, Battle Zone aux board. I think that's the serial number or the part number, and it just says ribbon cable R&R. Here's another one, 623. This was inside the cabinet. Also says Presley Music, says Battle Zone Analog Vector Gen, ribbon cable, and then a part number. So I don't know if they had to work on the ribbon cable twice. This was installed in the cabinet, so we'll figure out what's going on. Maybe the ribbon cable needs to be replaced or reflowed, who knows. Over here is the Star Force PCB from Tecan, which eventually became Tecmo a little bit later in its life. This thing looks beautiful, nice and clean. They cut the harness at the edge connector here. And there's an inner board connector right here. This is a 3-board stack. There's some ribbon cables, as you can see. There's a board-to-board interconnect right there. More ribbon cables over here. This one little connect got cut. I mean, why would you cut, you know, just to take 4 1-inch sections of wires? Just bizarre to me. And then there's also, these are the video cables right there that don't go through the edge connector. There is a JAMA adapter for this, so I can repair these wires right here and then get the JAMA adapter, and we can test this board out. I bet it works. One thing that's sort of weird on it is I think this is an encrypted Sega Z80. My Pango PCB originally had one. You can see it says Sega right there, and it has the weird sort of case where the legs sort of come out the side. So if you try to resocket these and press these down, often the legs just go flying. So you got to be super careful with those. But I'm sure, I can't imagine these are encrypted ROMs. I bet you a regular Z80 might just work in there. And so here are some papers, stacks of papers that I found inside the games, and I haven't even looked at them. This one is sealed. I'm just opening it up for the first time. We'll see what's in here. I don't know if there's anything else in this manila envelope. No, we got a bunch of folded up schematics maybe. What does this say? Oh, is this Space Invaders? I think that's what it said just there. Look at that. Business reply mail, Space Invaders Deluxe. We can fill this out to get, I don't know, provide feedback to Bally Midway. This is some sort of Space Invaders schematic right here. Here's another one, I'm sure. We can go through these some other time, but that's kind of cool to find the paperwork. This is photocopied stuff. Page 20 of something. Is this Space Invaders still? Not entirely sure, it doesn't say. This is something from Wells Gardner, maybe the schematic for the black and white monitor. Yeah, V1001. And what does this say? Motherboard, Deluxe Space Invader. Typos just everywhere, like, you know, typical with Midway instructions. Here's another set of papers. This is from something else. This is from one of the game plan, or this, so game plan, that was the Enigma 2, right? So this is Game Plan Inc. test report. This is interesting. This is like a pad of paper, Form G. So there's several sheets of Form G here. Interesting. Game Plan Test Gamers Report. That's strange. So was this a test unit for Enigma 2 that got converted and this somehow got stuck inside? Any of you game plan experts out there, including Taylor Dillweed, take a look at this closely. I think Dillweed saw this briefly. Interesting. Figure out what that's all about. And then another sheet here. And what is this? I think this came from the same place that the that game plan sheet came from. So is this Tekken? Yeah. So this must be all the. Oh, okay. This is something for the Star Force, I'm sure. Oh, there we go. Star Force Service Manual, okay. 19-inch color monitor schematic diagram. So this is like for a, yeah, K4600. This is, no, I was going to say it was laminated, but no, this isn't a folder. Some sort of drawing. Let's see what this is for. Paper's kind of going everywhere. Let me grab the tripod real quick. All right, got the camera mounted. We can take a closer look. It's easier to do with two hands. So another monitor, service instructions. What does this all say? I'm interested to see what this game is for. Ooh, look at that. Enigma 2. Look at that. This is just like loose leaf paper, installation, game description. Has the Enigma 2 manual been scanned and uploaded? Yeah, just a bunch of sheets, and then that's got the monitor in there, operator options, 4600 safety. But this is like, almost looks like drafted schematic. No, this is a copy because it's sort of off, not square, but look at that. What does it say down here in the corner? Enigma cabinet. Even though it was an Enigma 2, not just an Enigma. And what else is here? Another drawing for, now this says Enigma 2. There was no Enigma 1. All right, so we'll put all this back in here. One last set of papers. Hopefully this is still interesting to you, going through all this archaeology here. Enigma 2 PCB schematic, and there's more. Is there more sheets inside? No, I guess it's just the backing of the paper. But that's really interesting. Yeah, if none of this stuff is scanned, I can always scan it and upload it. But isn't that cool? I love finding those little papers and artifacts and other things, you know, service tags like that. But yeah, so coming back over here, this is the the bezel that goes with that Sonic Asteroids. And so the story behind this, I guess some people that were affiliated with Sega set up a company in Spain that they called Sonic, but it was like Sega SA, but then that got turned to Segasa or Segasa, and then Segasa Sonic, and it was making, you know, they made pinball machines and, you know, they got licenses to make arcade machines, and I guess one of them was and asteroids for the local Spanish market. And you can see this is unlike any asteroids marquee you've ever seen before. We do have an asteroids ship, and it has, in Spanish, the points for different, hitting a big asteroid, medium asteroid, big and small saucer. And then, up here at the top, instead of high score, it says Maximo Tanteo, and then, Tanteo or score for the first and second, jugador or player. So isn't that cool? But yeah, there's a little history on the Sonic asteroids variant. And here's a Plexi Space Invaders marquee that I got, I think, from Liam. I don't know if this is a reproduction or what. The original one, at least in my cabinet, was glass because it was shattered. I don't know if later in the run for Deluxe Space Invaders they used a Plexi version, but and this has a little bit of flaking, but it's definitely nice enough to use. And there's an older piece of paper down here, for the bonus points setting. So if this is a reproduction, it's an older reproduction. So maybe it's an original. I'm not sure. Maybe that paper thing, because that's perforated, so it looks like it came from, a manufacturer. Anyway, here is the back door for, I believe this is for the NATO defense. This board set for NATO defense, which is filthy. But if you look really, really closely, you can see it says PNM, Pacific Novelty Manufacturing, and then NATO. So those are ROMs for NATO defense. The board is unfortunately cracked up here, but I don't think this matters. I think that's just in the ground plane. Sort of got pulled off of the mounting screw. 3-board stack. The ribbon cables have been disconnected, but I think would plug right back in. There it says Pacific Novelty Manufacturing Inc. We got more ROMs down here. Harness was cut right there, unfortunately, and cut over here, unfortunately. And this is some sort of power supply PCB set up over here with fuses. And again, all the wiring has been cut, but hey, at least we got the boards here. And then this is the back door for the Enigma 2 that was converted to Star Force. That's got nothing on the inside. Nope. And this is the base for the Thief. The back door is missing. This is the back door for the Sonic asteroids, which is right here. This is the speaker grill panel that fell off of or I'm sure it was pried off of this part here. So maybe we can repair that or make a new piece. But this is this blue will be hard to replace because, I don't know, this is like a laminate or something. We'll figure it all out. Yeah, that's the back door for the Sega, or not Sega, Sonic. I want to say Sega Sonic for the Sonic asteroids, even though there is a connection to Sega, I believe. And then that's the back door for the Space Invaders Deluxe. So yeah, pretty wild, pretty crazy. I would say that was my first real, true warehouse raid. I've been through some warehouses before where I've been able to bring a game or two home. I've gone through some private warehouse tours where nothing was really available for sale. Maybe I got to pick a couple parts. This was fantastic. So, all in all, we did throw a little bit of money at the town for this, but not too bad at all. I think I ended up spending like $50 each on these games, which, I'll leave it to your judgment if that was a good deal or not. Got some great parts. What an awesome story. What a cool adventure. With my friends, Taylor and Liam. Really want to thank Liam for setting this all up and dealing with the government and finally making this all work. And it was great seeing Taylor again. My second time meeting him in person after a couple months ago. He picked up a bunch of games that I've been holding for him. But I'm sure both of those guys, we will also release pickup videos on their respective YouTube channels. I know Liam's really excited about the food fight. Taylor already got the kangaroo working, so I'll put links down below to both of their channels. I'll also put a link to the original abandoned building exploration video from 6 years ago that kind of set this all off. That should be a lot of fun. And yeah, so I got a lot of work cut out for me. I got plenty of projects to keep me busy that I'm gonna need plenty of parts for. So if you've got any parts that I might need for getting any of these games back into running, the most difficult thing to find, I would imagine, would be the Sonic Asteroids marquee and maybe an Enigma 2 PCB, although I think an Overtime Arcade channel member is actually working on reproducing that board. So perhaps there's something to come there. But yeah, if this is your first time at the channel, welcome. Hit that subscribe button. I do new videos, release new videos like this every weekend, basically every Sunday, sometimes a little bit late. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of those. Click that notification bell so that you get an alert every time I release a new video, so you can be one of the first to watch and comment. If you really like what we're doing, hit that like button. Share this video with someone who might be interested in it. Comment, did I get a good deal here? Do you think I got a good deal? Do you remember any of these more, esoteric games like NATO Defense? You've ever played that? You ever even seen an Enigma 2 before? And if you really like what we're doing, a couple different ways for you to support the channel. A big one is click that join button down below to learn more about what it means to become an Overtime Arcade channel member. Basically, you give me $1.99 a month. You help support the channel. You get access to some awesome perks. That private members only Discord I've mentioned a couple times. You get early access to all new videos. Typically, you get to watch them a day in advance. I'm finishing this recording. It's Monday night. Yesterday was the pickup. This video is probably going to be released to channel members on Tuesday. So if you're watching this on Sunday when it was released to the public, you're watching it 5 days after the channel members got to watch it. And you get access to a monthly members only live stream, which we'll be doing probably next week. We have a lot of fun with that. We'll play some games. We hang out, kind of uncensored, kind of unfiltered. You can hear what I really think about things. But yeah, great way to support the channel. So click on that join button down below, learn more about Overtime Arcade channel membership. Also, if you don't want to do that, I totally get it. Not everyone wants to do like a recurring thing. You can always leave a super thanks down below. Basically it highlights your comment and you donate some couple bucks or whatever to do that, which is great. You can also buy merchandise. I've got linked down below to a store with t-shirts and hats and hoodies. It's starting to get cooler out depending on where you live in the world. Maybe you want to get a hoodie. Maybe you want to get a knit cap with an Overtime Arcade logo or something else cool arcade related on it. Click on that store button down below to see what we have on offer. And yeah, but you don't have to do any of that. Just support the channel, watch it, that sort of thing. I also want to give a big shout out, and I'll put a link down below too. If you know Patman QC, so Patman does really cool arcade history videos on YouTube. If you watch videos like this, you've probably seen his channel before. His channel's bigger than mine. He's going through some really, really tough health issues right now. He's been in the hospital, I think, for several weeks, if not a couple months. He's got a GoFundMe. I've donated generously to it. You should donate too. So maybe don't think about sending me any money because I don't really need it the way Patman does right now. So check out that GoFundMe link down below. If you can give anything to help him with his medical bills and supporting his family, that sort of thing. If you know Patman, he's had some pretty serious medical issues in the past, and there's some really bad stuff he's going through right now. So if you can throw a couple bucks his way to help him out, I would certainly appreciate it, and I'm sure he would too. Anyway, I think we'll wrap it up here as always. Thanks for watching Overtime Arcade. I'm Charlie, and I'll see you next time.
Overtime!